Welcome to the Shootin' Show. Stand by for shots fired. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to this week's Shootin' Show. And you can tell, now we're not on the farm this week. In fact, we're on a ranch. We're out at Gunsite in beautiful suburban Paulden, Arizona. And I want to introduce you to a couple of fine folks. This is Rich G. He is president and CEO.
Hi, Johnny.
And
how are you
Rich,
today?
it's nice to see you. I tell you what, he's in charge, and I understand he can be pretty tough, but he is a very nice fellow. And,
well, thank you.
Well, they run a tight ship here, folks. And this gentleman here is Jack Furr.
See you, Johnny.
Jack, it's a pleasure to be here. A lot of our viewers have heard of Gunsite. They've heard of so many good things and positive things. And friends, let me tell you what, this is probably the most famous shooting school in the world. And from what I've seen here today, I'm on my way back to Louisiana from the Soldier of Fortune Convention in Las Vegas, and it is a beautiful, a fabulous facility that they have. And you're going to be seeing some things just a little bit later on. You're going to see a synopsis or a general, some information about not only their school, but their entire shooting program. They do have a complete gunsmith shop here on site, in fact. And if you have a problem with your gun, if you want to come out here and go through one of the courses, well, they can just about fix almost any problem you have.
We'll even go there, too.
Unless your wife is giving you trouble.
You bet.
About being here. And they're like me. They don't get involved in that sort of thing at all. Well, you know, we're going to be doing a little shooting here, and I brought my old Ruger single action, and yes, they have made a little fun of me out here, but I'm saying, guys, this was a combat gun before the Colt was even thought of, the 1911, so anyway, we're going to have Jack open our program today, and without further ado, as I like to say, let's let another shooting show begin.
Let's go.
Go.
I'd like to welcome you here to Gunsite. The training that you'll get here will perhaps be some of the most meaningful training that you'll ever get.
Good job. Okay, down the guard, finger straight, looking good. Pick it up. Move out. Next shooter, step on up. Ease across. Side press. Shoot!
Push pull.
Fire! Don't move! Hit!
Right here's one of our simulators here at Gunsite. It's called the Firebox. Primarily used for the shotgun.
Eyes, muzzle, target. The training that is put out here is nationally and internationally recognized as the best in the world.
Not over there, straight down in front of you. Here, a holster. If you want to learn, we have it to teach.
Very careful of leading with the muzzle. That's a dead. We are the oldest and best.
But you're not going to go down there like a water buffalo snorting and bucking and jumping. You cannot buy this scenery any place else in the world. What was the problem there? What was the problem?
When a student comes to Gunsite to learn, that learning process is not interrupted by the occasional weapon failure. If they have a problem, it's repaired immediately.
Try it again. This is the grip only. Ready? Grip!
When they leave here, that they feel like that they are definitely in control of their environment.
Ready? Stand by. Fire!
I feel protected if I ever go out shopping alone. I can carry my weapon and know that I can handle it.
Why did you do a speed reload when he's killing you with a shotgun already?
You're going to learn. No matter what you know already, you're going to find something else.
Shoot! You can protect yourself, your family, your kids.
Stand by. Fire!
It's a big family. Once you've gone to Gunsite, you're part of the family.
Gunsite is about 25 miles north of Prescott, Arizona, and we're located at an elevation of about 4,500 feet. The terrain is rolling hills with some ravines, and it's sprinkled with juniper trees and scrub oaks and high desert mesa type vegetation. The drive out to the ranch is just simply gorgeous. It's wide open, the air is clean, the sunsets are beautiful. On our ranch, we've got 27 shooting ranges. Among those different shooting ranges, we've got 3 shooting houses in which a person can shoot 360 degrees indoors.
There he is! There he is!
And then we've got 7 outdoor simulators, from simulators that are essentially targets that are positioned at strategic locations, utilizing the natural terrain in the washes, to large hunting courses or assault courses where the student will go through a ravine, and the targets may be anywhere from 20 yards to 500 yards in length.
And again, good job.
The reason Gunsite is so special is that Jeff Cooper has developed it over the years, developed the doctrine, the technique. Then what he's done is he's gone out and he's brought staff and other personnel to come in to help this development, to help impart this information to the student. Then with this development of the technique, we've increased in the size of the facility, the quality of the simulators we use, and we're always striving to improve. It's a continual process.
Chris, when you come off the target, your finger goes straight. Coming under guard. This establishment is an operation devoted to the achievement of excellence rather than the making of money.
Stand by.
We're very complete. We have an extremely ornate and all-encompassing shooting plant. The point is we can do everything. I think this institution does what it does immeasurably better than anybody else who tries this sort of thing. And it is a sense of extreme gratification to see it work.
The guy that was hit square in the head did anything except turn off and relax. Hitting the guy in the body can have some problems.
The days are clear, the nights are crisp, the scenery is pretty, and you can come out here and acquire a usable life skill and enjoy yourself and have a good time and make a vacation out of it, which a lot of our students do.
Okay, gentlemen, this is the shoot-off portion of the course. You will both be seated here. Your shotguns are in the ready position with the double-out buck in it. The majority of the students that come up here are interested in learning to shoot. They look at Gunsite as a shooting school, and certainly we are that. We do teach shooting. We teach marksmanship, but we also teach mindset, and we teach the individual to feel comfortable with his environment, but more than that, to control his or her environment. When they get up to the school, we teach them how to use the weapon that they bring in, how to feel comfortable in the environment that they're either living in or working in. And that's what the student leaves here, is with a mindset of comfort, knowing that if they get faced with a deadly encounter on the street, as happens every day, that they are in charge of their environment and they can handle the situation. So we're basically selling peace of mind to the student.
Crisis management for close-range, interpersonal confrontations. That's what it's all about. So think.
We are sincerely interested in their well-being and their learning experience, and that if in some small way we can give them some type of information or tools that will help them survive a lethal encounter should they be involved in one, then all is worthwhile.
You got to go to the speed change. Don't be doing attack. Okay. And don't be standing out in the middle of East Jesus here with people got you all covered.
Bush, man.
Yeah. But I know exactly why you missed the one in the bush. And I'm going to show you rather than talk to you about it. I'm going to show you. Normally, I would be down here at this position. Before I came here, I wasn't aware of all the special things that Gunsite provides for the individual. But once I came here, I think, in my mind, it teaches you a way of life. It don't just teach you how to shoot. It teaches you how to think. It prepares you mentally.
That crossing over with your thumb there, Nate, is not a good idea.
No, I'm having trouble with that.
Your hand is too low, but it always is. The peace of mind you obtain by learning to command your environment is, well, it's priceless. It's priceless. It changes your attitude. Your mind is different when you leave here.
Now, Rich, take this hand, reach up underneath the sling, and pull that, and just lift it, and then just up into here.
What we see a lot of people do is when they get in this position, they say, well, the shooting's over. I've done everything he told me or asked me to do, and they just relax. Do not relax.
Stop. And this is just a teaching point. You see how we're telegraphing ourselves here? Even consider that.
The unique thing about, I think, about the personnel here at Gunsite, or that most of them, they've been in life and death encounters.
The instructors that intrigue me the most, because they come from all over the country, and they live in different areas, they have different personalities, but when they come here to this school, they all teach the same thing.
We noticed at Gunsite, the instructors here have, we started off slow, and it wasn't really hard or fast-paced or nothing, but everybody's picking up real fast under target, coming quick out of the holster and good shots in a short period of time, which is really amazing to us. So we're looking at that kind of technique, taking that back with us to North Carolina.
For women who are a little leery about come on in. It is the best thing I think I've ever done. You're certainly treated very well. You're not specially treated, but you learn.
I know there's a lot of women out there that want to learn how to shoot guns and carry them. If there's any women out there that have any kind of thought about coming and taking a class, they really should. Gunsite is a wonderful place to come and learn how to handle and be prepared to use the weapon that you've chosen to carry.
As president and CEO of Gunsite Training Center, I can assure you that our company commitment is to handle and deal with each individual student to assure that student that he gets the facilities, the time, and the dedication needed to increase his performance in gun handling, marksmanship, and mental conditioning. I'd like to welcome you here to Gunsite. The training that you'll get here will perhaps be some of the most meaningful training that you'll ever get.
Good job. Okay, down the guard, finger straight, looking good. Pick it up. Move out. Next shooter, step on up.
Ease across. Side press. Shoot.
Push, pull.
Fire.
Don't move.
Awesome firepower. Precision rifle skills. That's what you'll find along with lots more in these two great new videos, Marine Corps Firepower and Marine Corps Silent Drill Team. See an actual firepower demonstration of the latest Marine Corps weapons of the infantry, including the M220 Echo Tow missile system, grenade launchers, mortars, and lots more. Plus the Marine Corps Silent Drill Team, an incredible display of precision rifle handling skills by the most respected and admired rifle squad in the world. Two great new videos for one low price, just $19.95 through this special TV offer. Marine Corps Firepower and Marine Corps Silent Drill Team. Two videos for the price of one. Call and order yours right now.
Call toll-free with your credit card ready, 1-800-942-8273. By ordering today, you'll receive this 32-page gun video catalog absolutely free. So order now, 1-800-942-8273. Call now.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, recently we covered a shooting event out at the Shootout here, local to us anyway, at Houghton, Louisiana. And this is really a terrific facility they have. It's called the Shootout, and we featured them before on the program. And they also had a Chevy Truck Team Challenge event that was going on while we were doing this. And the National Rifle Association was very well represented. They had the National Rifle Association Sports Shooting Fair, which really serves to introduce a lot of people who are may not be familiar with guns, to introduce them to the sport of shooting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the entrance at the Shootout, and their attendance has really been good. Of course, people coming and going. And these fine folks here are the welcoming committee. They're giving information. Here is the office for the shootout. And let's ease over and take a look. We have several manufacturers who of sporting equipment. Again, friends, this is such a great place to bring your family and introduce a lot of new people to shooting. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with Rod Haydale, and they have a very well-known game call company. So, Rod, why don't you tell us what you got here, sir?
Well, we got a few calls, everything from the big game animals such as your elk and moose on down to the everything in between on down to squirrel.
Here's the Clark Custom Guns. They have a table here under the shed. Of course, you've seen a good number of these guns on our program in the past. Of course, action pistols, squirrel special. We have a young man shooting a pellet gun, I believe. And he's got some targets a few yards out there.
There you go.
And he hit his target. There's some other folks standing by, waiting for their turn, I believe. I tell you what, friends, this is so important. Starting out with these kids, teaching them gun safety and how guns work in the early stages, early years. And we can't stress this enough. See if he gets it again. And got it again. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with Chuck Reedy, and this man is holding a gun that you've seen on our program a couple of times, the Thunder 5. So Chuck, tell us a little bit about yourself and the gun, please.
Okay, I'm Chuck Reedy out of Melbourne, Florida, and I'm a distributor for the Thunder 5. And about Thunder 5 itself, it shoots 45 long pull and 410 shotgun shells. What I said was we perceive this as being the best home defense weapon ever conceived, because it shoots a 410 shotgun shell out of a 2-inch barrel, and it's a point and shoot type weapon rather than requiring an expert marksman to use. We'll try that white snake out there.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the right people from being upset, these are simulation snakes. Well, I think that snake may be in serious trouble. You shoot some of those clay targets for us, please, sir. Which is really not bad. It's loud underneath the shed here, but you can tell. Is that those 3-inch loads? Which is not bad at all. We get a close up of Chuck's hand. It's just really not that bad. Now, friends, for the absolute best in monthly shooting magazines, turn to Shooting Times. They have all sorts of excellent features on handguns, rifles, shotguns, and black powder by some of your favorite gun writers. Each month you'll find interesting articles on guns, shooting, reloading, and new products in the firearms industry. That, along with information on pending legislation of interest to all gun owners. For subscription information, call 1-800-727-4353. Shooting Times, the best there is. And now let's watch the great John Satterwhite shoot his shotgun.
We're looking at right here. Skeet shooting was invented in 1920 in Andover, Massachusetts by a man named Foster and another man by the name of Davies. One more for home, Mr. Bird, get the chill and the gun hand on. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Try it with two. Put the gun back on the box, pick up 2 clay targets, and let's do it. Here we go.
Friends, we had such a great time out at the NRA Sports Shooting Fair here at the Shootout in Houghton, Louisiana. And of course, there were many, many things going on at the same time, a lot of things that we don't have time for in today's program. But we'll be covering some of those in the future. And anytime you have an NRA Sports Shooting Fair like this particular event, you can take your entire family out there. You can really have a great day learning to shoot, or if you're already a shooter, just enjoying our great sport. Now, friends, we are very pleased to welcome a new sponsor, and that's Soldier of Fortune magazine. This is definitely a magazine for the shooting enthusiast, but also for someone who would like to know what's going on around the world in all sorts of political or otherwise situations that might involve firearms or military situations for that matter. They have all sorts of insights that you're not likely to get in some of the other news magazines, and we had such a great time. We just covered the Soldier of Fortune convention in Las Vegas this past weekend, in fact, and you're going to be seeing a special feature on this sometime in November. I think it's going to be something that everyone will enjoy. So right now, let's meet Robert K. Brown, the editor of Soldier of Fortune, and let you get acquainted with him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Sands Convention Center with a good friend of ours and someone that I think that many of you will really be interested in meeting. He is one of the nicest people I think that I have ever had the pleasure to meet, and the good news is that other people...
You're destroying my reputation.
Well, I hate to do this, but the thing is that the other people that know this man feel like I do, and certainly Kurt does. We've been here since, Kurt's been here since Tuesday of this week, and as we're shooting this, it's on the last day of the convention. And friends, let me introduce to you Colonel Robert K. Brown, the editor, publisher, the man in charge of Soldier of Fortune magazine. And you're going to be seeing him periodically on our program. And sir, we'd like to welcome you, certainly, to our efforts, because friends, let me tell you what, this man, his publication, as is he tells the truth, and something that is so important to our project and all our viewers. So Bob, again, welcome, and tell us, I know you've had a great convention. Tell us a little bit about what you folks are doing there.
It has been a very good convention. We have a unique convention, Johnny, in the respect that we have a multitude of things that are going on at the same time, concurrently. For instance, we started out Wednesday with a 3-gun tactical match. About 225 shooters that the Soldier of Fortune magazine sponsors. And of course we have a lot of manufacturers that contribute prize money and also merchandise. It's a combat match, rifle, pistol, and shotgun. The bulk of the shooters are law enforcement or military. And they, for instance, last year we had 36 police departments that were represented in the match. Then Wednesday, the convention officially started. We have seminars, a variety of topics. Probably the most interesting one we had this morning, where we had Dick DeGurian, David Koresh's former attorney, who came in and gave a 2-hour seminar on Waco. We had the seminars run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The exposition runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wraps up this afternoon at 4 o'clock. We have about 80,000 square feet of floor space here, about 300 exhibitors, and we'll probably have a walkthrough now based on the totals that came in Friday and Saturday, probably about 11,000 people.
Well, you know, a lot of people who are watching this program really may be only familiar with what they have heard or something someone else has said about maybe your magazine or this convention. Well, friends, let me tell you what, this is one of the most polite, best groups of people.
You're destroying our reputation.
Darn, I hate to do that, but you won't find a group of more patriotic Americans. Now, this is something that has impressed me so much, because this is the first one I've been to. You're not seeing, you'll see people walking around in camouflage, you know. You'll see people walking around with shooting show outfits on, too.
You'll see people walking around with
Soldier of Fortune T-shirts on. But we have been so impressed with the fraternity of feeling that has been here with these people. Everyone is concerned about preserving our rights as individuals, preserving our country. And you know, there's been a lot of talk here about moral values, stuff that seems like the popular media has forgotten here in recent times. So this has really been an outstanding. It is not what a lot of people would think of on the surface or has been portrayed. So this is something that you would not be afraid to bring your family to.
Well, a lot of families here.
A lot of families here. That's true.
Not only individuals bringing their wives, but also their kids.
Oh, that's certainly true. Well, we're so pleased to be working. We're going to be doing some things with Soldier Fortune, and we're going to try and get Bob here to do some segments for, of course, he has tremendous expertise in a number of different areas. We were talking to General Singlaub earlier. A lot of the trouble spots in the world are still trouble spots. Just because the Soviet Union is no longer does not mean that we can lay down our arms and forget about things. And Bob really has a tremendous amount of knowledge and respect among his peers in fields like this. And I think that a lot of you at home will be most interested in, one, getting to know this man better, getting to know their publication better. Now, the Soldier Fortune publication, in my opinion, is one of the most honest publications that is available today. Now,
we're not certainly politically correct. And we make no apologies for that. I will say that I am very pleased and I'm proud, frankly, of the amount of coverage we've done on some very contentious issues, i.e. the Randy Weaver case and the Waco case. And we're continuing to hammer away on that. None of the mainstream media, once the compound burned down, really paid much attention to it, but there's some very serious threats we perceive from the part of the federal government with the type of force, uncontrolled force, the overzealous actions on the part of the management of ATF. And even the FBI certainly has to be questioned, what they did. I mean, there's really no excuse for it, and it needs to be brought to the attention of the American people, not because just of these particular incidences, but what does this mean in the future? This type of activity on the part of the federal government must be stopped.
Well, and who better than, you know, if you let the people know what the truth is, if you let them know what they're actually dealing with, you know, it's just like treating any disease. You can't treat it until you know what it is.
That's right.
Am I correct on that, Kurt? Thank you very much. But anyway, friends, we're so pleased about working with Bob. We appreciate so much our invitation here to the convention. And you'll be seeing the convention on a later program because we're going to do a promotional coverage on it. We have a lot of things that most enthusiasts, or even if you don't know much about guns, this is an excellent place for you to learn. Soldier Fortune magazine, they do have some, shall we say, direct articles, and sometimes they use some language that is most effective language available. But you know what? It is all meant to enhance or tell the truth. That's what we're talking about. And don't mistake my word for enhance. It's to tell the truth. So it's a very fine publication, one that I've read for many years, and we just hope it has a great future and hope it strictly onward and upward. And again, thanks, Bob, for your support and consideration.
Look forward to working with you, Johnny.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
For subscription information on Soldier Fortune magazine, call them at 1-800-877-5207. The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or television station.
I'm proud to be an American, thank God our country's strong. But some time ago, you know, it occurred to me, there's something going wrong. My granddad fought against tyranny so we could all be free. I'm afraid, my friends, his fight has passed down to you and me, down to you and me. We got people telling us what to do, but don't even know our name. We're just a number on some little card, and I think that's a shame. If George and Abe could see us now, bet they'd both agree. This is not exactly what they had in mind. The land of liberty, sweet land of liberty. Oh, I love to hear my Harley run. I like being free to live out my dreams, and I want to have a little fun. I want to hold on to what we've got, from sea to shining sea. I'm afraid, my friend, the fight has passed down to you and me. Oh, down to you and me. We got politicians and bureaucrats all telling us what to do. And they don't seem at all concerned about what they put us through. They tax and spend like there's no end, throw it all away. Just keep in mind there'll come a time when nobody's left to pay. Well, nobody's left to pay. There's people that wanna lock us up just to keep us away from harm. They want a police state to give us orders, but they can get us unarmed. There's folks that say they know the truth, well, they saw it on TV. We got some boys on Capitol Hill, don't wanna have us free. No, they don't wanna have us free. My Harley run. I like being free to live out my dreams, and I want to have a little fun. I want to hold on to what we've got, from sea to shining sea. I'm afraid, my friends, the fight has passed down to you and me. Well, down to you and me.
And since we were watching machine gun shooting earlier this week, we're going to feature one. Art Alpin's going to tell us about one on this week's program for information on the great A-Square products, some of the finest rifles and ammunition, in fact, in the world today. And of course, that's Art's company. For information on their products, call them at area 502-255-7456.
When a cartridge weapon is discharged, a number of forces are generated and a great deal of energy is released. The idea of using these forces or the energy in order to cycle the weapon surfaced in the 1880s. Though many people worked on putting this idea to use, such as McLean, Lewis, and Hotchkiss, I would like to concentrate on two major contributors whose designs made a mark on the course of warfare. These are Hiram Maxim and John Browning. Maxim harnessed the recoil forces generated upon discharge in order to cycle the weapon. By the 1880s, he had some practical designs. Though they worked reasonably well, his automatic weapons became what we understand to be a machine gun only after the introduction of smokeless powder and jacketed bullets. You have seen these developments in a previous tape. By 1893, Maxim was selling perfectly functional machine guns. Among their first recorded uses was action in the Matabele War of that same year. The painting Brave Men depicts the death of Alan Wilson's Shangani Patrol. The patrol was an advance element of Forbes's mobile column. After the Nabili had annihilated Wilson, their 7,000-man army advanced on Forbes, who credited his salvation to the Maxim machine gun. Maxim worked at refining his designs, and by 1908, the Maxim machine gun had been adopted by Germany and was made under license there. The same weapon was adopted and manufactured in England, where it was known as the Vickers. John Moses Browning had been working on another method of cycling an automatic weapon using the very same gases which propelled the projectile. His first workable designs were made by Colt Marlin and used in the Spanish-American War. When the bullet passed a hole or gas port located underneath the barrel, gas escaped and pressed on a lever. The lever rode all the way back and then was pushed forward by a spring, thereby completely cycling the weapon. For obvious reasons, this gun was nicknamed the Potato Digger. As war clouds loomed, Browning quickly branched aside and designed a machine gun using Maxim's short recoil idea, since short recoil was a good bit more compatible with water cooling. Without getting into French or Austrian variations, you can safely assume that every major combatant in World War I entered the war with a machine gun. The capabilities of all of them were quite similar. I will use this Browning 1917 water-cooled as a good example. Most of these weapons fed from a belt. As the belt was pulled through the machine gun by these feed pawls, individual rounds were pulled back out of the belt and then positioned on the bolt so that they would be next in line for chambering and firing. The Browning and the Maxim worked on the short recoil principle. In this method, the barrel, bolt, and barrel extension remain locked together after discharge and travel a short distance to the rear. After the bullet exits the barrel, the bolt then unlocks, sliding independently to the rear. The bolt comes back far enough so that the old cartridge case is extracted and ejected and a new cartridge is placed in position. The bolt then travels forward, chambering the cartridge, and fires again as long as the trigger is held down. The Maxim, Browning, and many others were water-cooled. The barrel was surrounded by a water jacket holding approximately 5 quarts of water. After 600 rounds of continuous fire, the water would be brought to a boil and steam would exit through a steam bleed-over valve down through this hose into a condenser bucket. The second assistant gunner kept refilling the jacket as water would boil away at the rate of 1 quart for every 250 rounds. Though the water did boil away, it was recovered in the condenser bucket. It also stabilized the operating temperature of the weapon and allowed continuous, sustained fire. All of these weapons were extremely accurate and fired their rounds into a very small group, which, in machine gun terminology, is called the beaten zone. As an assist, they were equipped with a micrometer traversing and elevating mechanism so as to enhance their long-range accuracy. They also were chambered for the full-powered rifle cartridges of the nations involved, such as the 30-06 or 8mm Mauser. Let's see what this Browning can do. In its first target run, you'll see a silhouette target on top of a 4x4 fence post and two real sly buggers hiding behind a cinder block wall. That's pretty impressive. The Browning fired such a small group that it had no problem cutting down the 4x4 post in short order. Both the wall and the two guys hiding behind it took a severe drubbing. This latter target illustrates a point. A wall, unless it is solid masonry, is no real protection against small arms fire from full-powered rifle cartridges. Next, we'll engage a group of targets in the open using the traversing and elevating mechanism and a final assault of targets on line. See if you can spot some advantages and disadvantages of the water-cooled. The advantages of the water-cooled machine gun are quite obvious. It is extremely accurate, can fire at very long ranges, and has a very high sustained volume of fire. In fact, the water-cooled machine gun is unique among machine guns in that its sustained volume of fire is just about the same as its cyclic rate. The Maxim and the Browning both had usable volumes of fire on the order of 500 rounds per minute, and both had combat ranges well in excess of 2,000 yards. The water-cooled machine gun truly was the next best thing to being there. This tremendous capability is not free. For starters, the weapons are expensive to manufacture. You can see all of the very small yet very finely machined parts in this Maxim. Though the Browning was a good bit simpler, both weapons required major industrial investment. The crews for the weapons had to be large and highly trained. Highly trained because of the requirement for maintenance before and during firing, such as head space, and spring tension adjustments. The crew had to be large because there were many other jobs to be done. Also, the water-cooled machine gun weighed well over 100 pounds, not counting water and ammunition. When broken down, it took at least 3 men to carry it. It also took a long period of time, 3 minutes or so, in order to get the weapon properly placed in position. You should have noted that we had 11 sandbags stacked on the Browning when we fired it. The extra weight of the sandbags helped damp out the vibrations of recoil and was a requirement if one was to take advantage of both the accuracy and the high sustained volume of fire. This does not tell the full story. Someone had to load the cloth belts with ammunition. This required a separate machine, such as this Browning cloth belt loader. The cloth belts had to be saved by one of the crew members. They were washed, dried, and then protected from mildew. They could not be loaded too far in advance, or the cloth would stretch and the cartridges would fall out. The advantage to the cloth belt is that it is much easier on the machine gun and does contribute to the overall reliability. The small beaten zone of the water-cooled machine gun translates to an extremely long adjust sight range. It was the job of the gunner to adjust sights for range and to compensate for wind drift. However, the gunner could normally not properly spot the fall of his rounds. Another individual with binoculars spotted the fall of the rounds. The vertical portions of the reticle on the binoculars that you use today are leftovers from that era. They are based on a logarithmic scale and were used for adjusting the fall of long-range machine gun fire on the ground.
We'll be back with more of the Shootin' Show after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
All right, people, the voters are screaming about violent crime. What are we going to tell them?
How about the truth? We're not keeping violent criminals in prison.
Sir, 35 states are under court order to release criminals.
The average criminal set free will commit 187 more crimes a year.
We're out of prison space.
We gotta make more. Good people are getting hurt bad.
With the likelihood of arrest and conviction, a murderer will spend 1.8 years in prison.
Yeah, and a rapist a couple of months.
I'm not in the prison building business.
We're in the re-election business.
Thank you.
Listen, just a handful of repeat offenders commit most violent crimes.
We could just stop letting them go.
Look, stop giving me the facts and start giving me headlines.
How about another gun control law?
Yeah, we've already got 20,000 of them.
It just don't work.
So my gun control plan to restrict firearm sales to citizens will break the back of violent crime and rid our streets of violent criminals. Do we have any questions?
Don't let politicians get away with murder. Join the NRA.
Hi, I'm Bill McIntyre with another update from Capitol Hill here in Washington, D.C. at National Rifle Association headquarters. The NRA has led safety efforts in this country for more than 100 years. Through education and training, we work hard to reduce the number of accidents involving firearms. Our success is growing and lives are being saved. The latest figures from the National Safety Council are out. The results are very encouraging. Overall, fatal firearms accidents rates are down 17% in the last year, and they're down 20% in the last 10 years. Part of the reason for these tremendous declines is due in large part to responsible Americans taking advantage of NRA's Home Firearm Safety Program, which is designed for both gun owners and non-gun owners alike. Over the last 2 decades, the number of fatal gun accidents has declined by more than 50%. The news is good for our children as well. In the last year alone, children 14 and younger faced 20% fewer fatal firearms accidents than in 1991. In fact, the decline comes exclusively from those between the age of 5 and 14. Coincidentally, the NRA's Eddie Eagle Firearm Safety Program is geared almost entirely towards this age group. The Eddie Eagle program relies on teachers, law enforcement, and parents to teach elementary school-age kids to stop, don't touch, leave the area, and tell an adult if they see a gun. It's a simple message which can save a life. So far, we've reached 4 million kids across the country. While the news from the National Safety Council is good, we shouldn't get overconfident. Even one accident is too many. We can help prevent more by making gun owners and non-gun owners fully aware of basic safety practices for firearms. For more information about any of NRA's safety programs, call us here in Washington, D.C. at area code 202-828-6265. That's area code 202-828-6265. I'll be back next week with another update from Capitol Hill.
You know, the best planned hunt can be ruined by the smallest thing, like ending up with the wrong ammunition. Hi, I'm Grits Gresham. Truth is, choosing the right load can make all the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful hunt. So, what's the best way to match your ammo to the game you're after? That's easy. Take the guesswork out of ammo selection. To make sure you get the right stuff when it comes to ammunition, see the real pro in your community.
Friends, well, we're back this week again with our black box, which again, I cannot show you what's inside. It is nothing illegal. But if you're concerned about your home security, your personal security, the security of your wife, your children, yourself, your car, whatever else around your house that you may have and you want to hold on to, please give us a call. Now, bear with us. Our response has been so terrific from all over the country, and our staff here at the Shootin' Show is very small, but we've added to that. So please, if you haven't gotten your information yet or we have not called you back, we will very shortly. It's just difficult to get around to doing everything all at one time. In the very near future, we're going to be able to do this or respond to your requests either the same day or within a very short period. Again, that number is 1-800-895-7916. And what we need you to do, we need you to leave your name and phone number or name and address. We will mail you the information. We'd like to talk to you on the phone about what we do have to offer. As I mentioned on last week's program, we have established a security division. Now then, if you're interested in getting a Bullet Express, which is our catalog that has all kinds of things from caps to T-shirts to RB-17 to cool downers to Hornady bullets and some other things, please write to us at the Shootin' Show, 554 Kings Highway, Shreveport, Louisiana. Our zip code 71104. Or you can call us at area 318-222-8515. I know most of you have those numbers. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying tonight's program as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. So we'll get this information now on our black box. I think you'll be impressed.
And now for our action shooting enthusiasts, we're going to watch a little bit of the Yankee Cup.
And this year, he's shooting his best match ever. Franklin is 49 years old and lives in Phoenix, Arizona. A good pass here could put him into first place with Koenig and DePaulo. Here he is at the 15-yard line. Frank dropped a shot out into the 8 ring on that last pass, so he finishes the mail-order video moving target event with 474 points and 27 X's.
NRA action shooting is one of the fastest-growing shooting sports in the world today. Men, women, and children compete on an equal basis in a friendly competition that emphasizes gun safety, shooting accuracy, and self-improvement. For more information on how you can get involved in action shooting, contact the National Rifle Association at 1600 Rhode Island Avenue, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20036. Okay, back at the Tasco Barricade event where Bruce Pyatt is shooting a rather unorthodox style. Bruce told me he goes low on the barricade because there's less sway down in the low position than there is at the top of the barricade. You can see he's shooting a semi-auto pistol and looks like it's working to me. They're all X's, all right in the middle of the target. Bruce is a law enforcement officer in New Jersey, and he won the Soldier of Fortune. He was the top shooter at the Soldier of Fortune 3-gun match.
You know, friends, as shooting enthusiasts, we should all be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. Literally thousands of firearms bargains, 3 big issues monthly. Shotgun News, Post Office Box 669, Hastings, Nebraska. That zip is 68902. Their phone number is area 402-463-4589. MasterCard or Visa, subscriptions only. Call them at 1-800-345-6923. And we want to remind you about our good friend Larry Scott with his Interstate Road Show on KWKH Radio. That's 1130 on your AM dial from midnight to 5:30 a.m. Well, friends, we've run out of time again on another shooting show. We sincerely hope you've enjoyed our program this week. And we look forward to seeing you again next week with another shooting show.